everyone, welcome back to another episode of A Lady's Garden, and I just wanted to give you guys an update of my vegetable container gardening. So over the spring I planted a green bean plants. Actually, I think I put 5 in there. We did the dwarf dahlia mix seedlings, and over here there is a tomato. So we're going to look at the dahlia plants. I don't know what happened there. There was a full flower on there, and now I see all these petals, but nevertheless, we see a lot of buds, lots and lots of buds, and a lot of pretty flowers. And I'm pretty excited about that. I think it came out very, very pretty. It definitely is a mix, as the package says. So we have pink color, we have yellow. Yeah, so it's going pretty well. I'm really liking this little container. Over here we have the beans. So these were actually white beans. So you see those there. The plant itself, I mean, for 5 plants, I thought it would be a lot bigger and bushier. I put the net over recently because of the birds. They kind of started to hang out in this area. So I did put the net on, but it wasn't until very recent. While we're here, we have a very sweet little rose. She's kind of, I don't think she's stretching. She's not plumping out as I thought it would, but it's just one of the miniature roses that I get from the supermarket. So they're there, and I thought the color would look very nice up against this kind of rustic brown container. This guy over here is just doing very well. This herb, I think it's, was it Greek oregano? I'm not sure. And you can't even see the plant tag anymore. But, however, over here we have our tomatoes, and very, very happy. A lot of tomatoes on there, a couple ripe ones ready to be picked. So it's husky cherry red tomato. And again, just recently put the net on. So that looks nice and healthy. Over here we have another little rose. Not as big, probably because it's not getting as much sun as the other one on the other side. But then we have this is Italian oregano, and I actually am thinking about getting another one. It is a spreader, so I just have to be mindful of it spreading. But in a couple of the areas that I have on the other side of the garden that I was talking about that's pretty undeveloped, I was thinking about using a ground cover. I know I mentioned ajuga, I know I have lamium as an idea, but I didn't like it over there. Not in the shade necessarily, but it is a very pretty plant. It did get a little tall for me this season, and I just kind of went and halved it, and it looks pretty nice. So I'm thinking about using this as a ground cover. It's an herb, but it did survive my winter, so I'm thinking about using that. And here we have our dahlia. Let me get down a little lower. So that is the one tuber that survived, and it is a golden yellow color. I did not pinch this dahlia because I actually didn't expect it to grow, and I'll be honest, I never usually pinch any of my seedlings. I didn't pinch that dahlia mix seedling, but I mean the stalk is pretty thick. I didn't even stake it, but I think it's probably more protected in this little spot here. But it branched out pretty nicely, and maybe would have branched out better, but I'm happy with it. So let me show you guys my bobo hydrangeas. Okay, so these are the bobos, and I must say they are lovely. So lovely. It is a lovely plant, and I love it. I love it very, very much. I mean, it's just beautiful. It's a beautiful flower, beautiful leaves. I mean, it's a very lovely plant, and I'm very happy I got it here. Almost wish I got it a little bit more to put other places. But overall, they're doing great in this area. I can't complain. It's just, they're getting enough sunlight. I mean, this one in the middle doesn't have as many flowers, but I do see most likely more buds are going to appear. Something did nibble on it, as you can see there. But overall, the flower is a beautiful flower. I highly recommend Bobo hydrangeas for your garden. It is very lovely. Very, very lovely. Over here, instead of getting, because really I couldn't find it, I wanted a panel, like a trellis panel, just to go against the foundation of the house. Didn't find that, but I did have this. So sometimes you just have to use what you have in your garden to kind of dress up areas. I do like garden ornaments here and there. I try not to go too heavy with them, but I had this in the other side of the garden, so I popped him here. And then there's another rose that I got from the grocery store, and I put it here. Probably won't climb. I'm thinking maybe next year of doing maybe a small climbing annual vine, but we'll see. We'll see. So this is the Bobo hydrangea area. And here is an update to an area that I was working on earlier. As you guys remembered, we lost the pine tree, so we had to remove it. Initially, I did get an hydrangea, which is where this lovely little sunflower is sitting in now. The hydrangea didn't like its spot. There's too much sun for it, and our dappled willow really wasn't giving the shade it will eventually give, I'm sure. So in the meantime, I just popped in this very cute sunflower that I actually found in the grocery store. This is actually my first sunflower, so I've never grown sunflowers before. But I saw it and I figured, well, if the hydrangea couldn't handle this spot, I sincerely believe that the sunflower could handle this spot. And I wanted an annual here. I didn't want to get anything permanent, just because it's a little later in the season. I'm not sure what I want permanently here. So we popped her in here. So we'll see what she does, how she performs, and just to have something kind of different in this area. Over here, I did replant the second catnip. This is Walker's Low from the Mother Mary garden. So I had two that used to be in their full glory when the thundercloud was smaller. Now that the thundercloud has grown and given a lot of shade, they're not happy there. So one went to the new garden bed that I showed you guys closer to the house, and the other one went here. Our placement of the boxwoods, so the two on either end were a little bit more inwards towards the middle of the garden bed. After the pine tree was removed, I redid them and I kind of pulled them down to try to make a hedge. So they're doing really well. And this one here, it's rebounding. It did suffer a little bit, but it looks like it's starting to rebound. And here is the star of the show. After the pine tree was removed, this hydrangea just started to put on massive, massive amounts of growth, as you can see. I mean, it's huge. Most likely the pine tree was kind of stifling its growth a little bit, competing with for water and for nutrients. So now that pine tree's gone, this one says, okay, now it's my turn. And it's really pretty. It's very, very pretty. So if we come here, some of the blooms are a little bit spent, but now there are new buds forming, and I am very happy about that. So that's a good sign. Over here, I got 3 delphiniums, and I did purchase these a little while ago, probably about a month. They are purple with a white center. I have the tag still, but the name escapes me, so I'll flash the name up on the screen with the tag. But they're pretty. Will I keep them here? I don't know, because once I put it here, I felt like it blended in a little too much with the hydrangea. I mean, right now it definitely does, but next to the daylilies, I mean the different texture of leaves, it looks nice. Anyway, over here we have the daylilies. I did not trim them back yet, and what I mean by trim them, I didn't take down the seed pods. I left them because I wanted to see how they'd look, but now I know I need to trim them because, I mean, it looks interesting, but I do like the daylilies more so for their grassy texture. I don't really care for the flower color. I mean, it could be where one day I replace them with something else and I can possibly transplant all of these to another side of the opposite side of the house where it's completely undeveloped. Each year I just neglect that part and I focus on everything else, but one day I'll get to it, and I'll definitely take you guys along for that journey as well. And then back here there's the astilbe. She needs to get trimmed back as well, or her flowers dead-headed. I'm thinking in the fall I'll probably divide her up. I mean, I think that's a good size plant that I should be able to divide up and get a couple pieces, get a couple new plants. I also will plan to remove this rhododendron hybrid type. I mean, I see buds. That's a flower bud, but it just looks so bad. It just does. And I don't have another place to put it where I think it'll do good, or here's an idea. Maybe when I start to work on the other side of the house, I can maybe try to incorporate this one into that area. I don't know. I mean, for right now, I'll leave it alone, but I'm thinking about moving that as well. Anywho, also, I took a little bit more of this lamium, and I started to fill in over here. And my goal is to have it go all the way to that tree there. But I just wanted to share a quick update. I'm going to have garden chores soon, so with the deadheading of the daylilies and the astilbe. But anyway, I hope everyone's having a great day, and I hope everyone has a great weekend. And I will see you guys in my next video. Happy gardening, fellow gardeners. Bye.